Have you been waiting for this?
Tell me about some unexpected things that have happened over the last 25 years.
Some of the unusual things that have happened on the show. When we hired Judge Milian, she was pregnant with her most recent daughter. So we always had to have a bucket by her chair on the bench in case she was feeling ill, and she got sick a couple of times. That stuff happens, but you never see that at home. Some lighter moments. The judge sometimes gets so focused on what she's doing. I think she spilled her coffee a few times on the bench.
How do you aim improperly for your... You'll never see that on camera.
We were doing a car accident case, and she was so intent on catching this litigant in a lie. And she was doing one of these things, and she just missed the top step and went, boom, almost face down on the floor. We thought that was going to be it. We've had a couple of scuffles in the studio, but it's never come to blows. We have a security team. We have to make sure that we're responsible, that no harm comes to anybody. We had this one case where a man, I forget what he was being sued for, his wife was backstage and didn't want to testify, and the judge made her come out. And the judge started lighting into both of them, and you could just see this woman just, start to do this. And the judge finally threw her out of the courtroom, and she was just raging, just yelling and screaming. And the husband grabbed her around the waist, and she fell back against the wall, knocked Ed Koch's picture off the wall in the hallway. We had another guy, and the judge caught him in a lie. You see this guy's eyes start to glass over, and then all of a sudden, boom, he just went down on the floor. It wasn't a heart attack, it wasn't a stroke, maybe it was low blood sugar or something like that. But we got to call the medics into the show. We had to call emergency services. They come with the gurney, and the judge comes out and she says, "Oh God, I hope you're okay." And he's laying on the gurney going, "Bye."
Oh my gosh. How much of that ended up in the show?
We aired it. Oh, we totally
did?
aired it. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are some of the unexpected things. One case, we had a guy who bought an accordion from a woman and said it didn't work. And he couldn't play it and couldn't describe what was wrong with it. And the woman that sold it for her father, and she didn't know anything about it. The judge asked if anybody could play the accordion.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Okay. So you love the accordion, but you don't play the accordion.
And a woman in the back row raised her hand. And she came up and played that accordion. Now, what are the chances of that happening? We didn't plant her there. She was just there as part of the audience. It's just crazy. And she was really good too.
That's hilarious.
We had one of the cast members from the Broadway production Wicked come to the studio in the audience because she loved the People's Court.
Laura
Woyasz.
Laura happened to have played Glenda the Good Witch on Wicked, which is one of my favorite Broadway plays.
Somehow we got word back to the judge that she was out there. She came out and she sang a song from the show.
And when someone needs a makeover, I simply have to take over. I know exactly what they need. And even in your case, get it? Case. People's Court. This is the best day of my life ever.
Anyway.
Well, let me take you back to my very first week. It was kind of a strange week. They had decided that they were going to replace their courtroom set. And they had built this brand new set that was all like brushed aluminum and frosted glass and dark cherry wood. And it was really a very beautiful set. And we're getting ready to do rehearsals on it. I think we're doing this on a Thursday or something. And then we were supposed to shoot cases the next day. And so I come in, and nobody has told me how to shoot the show. I mean, I've watched it on TV, but I don't know which camera shoots what, so I've got to figure all this stuff out on my own. So I come in, I've got it all the way I want it, and we start shooting rehearsals. And in the back row behind me in the control room is David Scott, our executive producer, Stu Billett, who was the executive producer and creator of the show, and Harvey Levin, who was also an executive producer and in the studio for all the cases. And they're buzzing in the back row. They're talking. And it's kind of a low mumble, and I can't really understand what's going on. And I'm thinking, great, it's my first day in the chair, and I'm screwing it up. Finally, Stu says, "Stop, that's it." So I turned around, and Stu said, "This just isn't working." And he hated the set, is what it was. He hated the set, this brand new set that they had just built. So he pulled the plug on that set. brought the old Judge Wapner set back in, and I believe it was the original Judge Wapner set, which we're using now with some modifications. And we set it up and we started shooting on a weekend. And since this was a Saturday, I didn't have any of the regular crew. I had a whole bunch of people that had never shot the show before. And it was a really, really bizarre first week. But then everything leveled out and it was good.